Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thank you so much for tuning in here on Wednesday, February 19th. Jacksonville Jaguars, they need to upgrade their offensive line. We've been talking about it all offseason, and we've been talking about Tony Boselli being very invested in upgrading the offensive line. Liam Cohen has also talked a lot about the offensive line. We've been focused mostly on the guard spot, talking about free agency. But there's a center who I think needs to be talked about. Center that's going to hit free agency. Needs to be talked about in a big way. We've talked a little bit about Drew Dalman on the channel, not a lot. The reason I haven't talked about him a ton is this is just not a very big center class in free agency. There's not a lot of guys. And so Drew Dalman, Atlanta Falcons center, if he does hit free agency, he is going to be in high demand. And credit to T-Wig, Locked On Jaguars, brought him up on his show yesterday. You also saw his name pop up on Matt Bowen's ESPN Top 50 Free Agent list at number 26. So that's why he kind of got back into the forefront of my mind. And I was thinking about, if Drew Dalman is one of the most hotly pursued offensive linemen in free agency, should the Jaguars, even if it's a limited center market, still be in on him? Should they go for him? And they do have Mitch Morse, who the Jaguars, they could move on from Mitch Morse and save about half of his contract value this year. I think they save about $2.5 million if they want to move on. So it's not like they're locked in with Mitch Morse. They don't have to have him as their starting center this year. Drew Dalman, again, number 26 on Matt Bowen's ESPN Top 50 Free Agent list. I was familiar with him as someone who consistently grades out very highly as a run blocker, but I decided to grind some tape, figure out how much I think he'll get paid, what he can provide to a team, ultimately should the Jaguars pursue him in free agency. So excited to get into that. He's 26, soon to be 27. Will be 27 when the 2025 season kicks off. And by the way, guys, we just got news. NFL salary cap was expected to be, this is according to Dan Graziano of ESPN, NFL salary cap was expected to be about $273 million-ish this year, projected by many. Dan Graziano reports that teams NFL Today informed teams that the salary cap will be in between $277.5 million and $281.5 million. A lot more than what was expected and way up from last year. Increased by more than $53 million over a 2-year span. So salary cap keeps rising, right? It is a good time to be wanting to spend money in the NFL during the offseason because the salary cap is your friend. And Shad Khan is your friend when it comes to writing these big signing bonuses, right? So getting into Drew Dalman, his dad was an offensive lineman for a long time. A lot of you old heads might remember seeing him play in the NFL during the 90s. You look at the numbers, and sorry, I'm very stuffed up nasally here. Weather just heat, cold, rain. So yeah, doing a little number on me. But you look at the numbers. Career pass pro efficiency, 97.1. That was way up to about 98% this year. And he did miss some time during the middle of the year with an ankle injury, but came back and played well. Very low penalty numbers throughout his career and very big time run blocking grades. That's all the surface stuff from what he's done in the NFL. And you look at, he was drafted in the 4th round in 2021. And you look at his spider chart on Mock Draftable, it's insane. So he's 6'3.5", he's 305 pounds. Does not have great arm length, though he is not bulky built, 32-inch arms. But hand size, 92nd percentile. 10-yard split, 82nd percentile. 20-yard split, 86th percentile. 40-yard dash, 88th percentile. Vertical jump, 91st percentile. Broad jump, 86th percentile. 3-cone drill, 89th percentile. 20-yard shuttle, 85th percentile. Bench press, 33 reps, 88th percentile. This dude was built in a lab to play center, to play interior offensive lineman, right? Unbelievable. And on tape, he looks like he's exactly what you want. I don't think he's scheme dependent one bit. I think he can do everything. He moves incredibly well, both horizontally and vertically in the run game. An elite athlete, as his testing shows. Wins quick with leverage and hands, and he can move you off the ball. Whether you are a 3-tech or a nose tackle, it does not matter to him. He'll move you off the ball. Really good at executing multiple blocking assignments in succession in the run game. That takes balance, that takes coordination, discipline. His grip strength really stands out in pass pro. So does his wide base and his feet to mirror movements. He gets grip on you in the right spot, and then he's just riding you. Nowhere to go. Consistently nowhere to go. And when he does maybe fall off a block real quick, strong recovery skills with that athleticism. So that stuff's pretty incredible, honestly. Big impact getting out on screens. Frames blocks up really well. So, yeah, I was blown away by the tape from 2024. Watched him play against the Steelers and a couple other games, and I'm like, why is there not more talk about this guy as like one of the best centers in football? There should be, absolutely. So I'm all in on Drew Dalman. I think he should be the Jaguars' top priority in free agency when free agency hits. If he is able to test free agency. I mean, you look at the Falcons cap situation. Let's check it out here. They currently are in the red, according to Over the Cap. Obviously, those numbers are going to shift a little. They'll be able to move money around if they want to. But, I mean, I think that Drew Dalman is going to be the second highest paid center in football. I think somebody's going to pay him that much. I would not be surprised at all. And I wouldn't even care if he gets Creed Humphrey money. That's one of the beauties of these undervalued positions. If he gets paid top of the market at his position, $18 million per year, that's like pennies on the dollar compared to your top wide receivers, edge rushers, tackles, quarterbacks, right? I would pay him whatever it takes for him to be in Jacksonville, because I think he immediately anchors down the center of your offensive line. And he creates a huge advantage for you in the run game and in pass protection. And on PFF, he doesn't grade out that well in pass protection. I'm not sure why. I watched him against the Steelers. I watched him against two other teams. I can't remember both games, but against Keanu Benton, against Cam Hayward, the guy's kicking ass. Two really good players. I think that he's just slept on because he's a center coming from Atlanta, not the biggest market, not the most attention on that football team, not the highest paid tackle or offensive lineman on that football team, higher paid guys, bigger name guys. But Drew Dalman is a stud. I think his value as both a run blocker and pass protector, to be able to win one-on-one, to be able to win multiple blocking assignments as a run blocker in a given play, I would pay him Creed Humphrey money. And I'm not saying he's the best center in football. I'm saying I think he's probably a top 5 center in football right now, based on what I've seen. And a guy that I think you can continue to build around. And, Liam Cohen needs somebody like that. The Buccaneers, they went and got Graham Barton last year in the draft. And he is an extreme talent. Drew Dalman is an extreme talent. You look at the pedigree, coming from Stanford, NFL offensive lineman dad, the athleticism, the physical profile, and then what you see on tape, it's all there for Drew Dalman. Sign him and a right guard, and you're cooking. Absolutely cooking. And so, I'm glad T-Wig brought him up yesterday. I'm glad Matt Bowen brought him up on the ESPN Top 50 Free Agents. He would be my number one priority. I think he's a better center than any of the guards, including Trey Smith, in set type free agency. And the Chiefs do not plan, according to a report today, plan on placing the franchise tag on Trey Smith. I mean, could you imagine Drew Dalman and Trey Smith? And look, You sign both of those guys, it's not going to cost a whole lot more than signing T. Higgins would. And I know T. Higgins probably not going to hit free agency, but my point is signing interior offensive linemen, that's where you should spend money in free agency. That's where you should spend money. When you're spending money on a free agent tackle or corner, or not corner as much, but tackle, edge, receiver, quarterback, that's where you're breaking the bank, right? You go sign Drew Dalman and you sign, whether it's Trey Smith or Tevin Jenkins or Mekhi Becton, you're in a good spot. And if you did that, you don't feel like you're backed into a corner where you have to draft an interior offensive lineman earlier in the draft. You can keep adding to premium positions that hold value at your current selection. So I'd be all in on the Jags getting Drew Dalman. I think it'd be awesome. I think he would be so much fun to watch and take you back. The Jaguars, they have not been the most proud franchise, but they have had some really good centers here in Duval. Brad Meester, Brandon Linder, Drew Dalman would fit right in and maybe be the most physically gifted of all of them. He's a special player. So I would value him more than any other offensive lineman for the Jags in free agency. And if you sign him and then you don't have to draft sign a right guard, you can go draft one. You could say, hey, with our second pick, even first pick, you go get Will Campbell if you want to, but with your second pick, you could go get, or third pick, you could go get one of many talented guards in this class. So Drew Dalman, really happy I went and watched the tape because this is a guy, he's my top free agent for the Jaguars. Top free agent for the Jags. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.